Hello VC, what's going on? It's me, Will, and I'm back with my year-end countdown of my top 10 albums of 2021. Yeah, it is that time of the year again. It's hard to believe, but this year just flew by. And it was another great year in new music, especially considering that the circumstances that didn't allow many bands to tour as much as compared to other years. But anyways, it was a strong year in new releases and new albums out there. So in this video, I'm going to show you my top 10 albums of 2021. But before getting started, I wanted to give you my short list of honorable mentions. These are the albums that I really enjoyed in 2021, but didn't quite make it to my top 10. Just a short list this year. First of all, I wanted to mention the local band from Atlanta, Narcissist, had a great debut album come out this year. It's just a self-titled album. Also, the Mummy Heads with Age of Isolation, an album and a band that I didn't know much about until Dave from The Dark Stuff in his channel. He talked a lot about them this year. And I listened to that record and it was excellent. Great record that didn't quite make it to my top 10. Also Ty Segall with Harmonizer. Great new album from Ty Segall, great guitars. I also got a chance to see him live this year and he was excellent. I believe it's his best album since Manipulator, which is another record from him that I really enjoyed. Great record, but didn't make it to my top 10. And finally, Snail Mail with Valentine, another great record from the very young band that I really enjoyed this year, but didn't quite make it to my top 10. All right, so that's my list of my honorable mentions. Let's go ahead and get started with my top 10 albums of 2021. All right, coming in at number 10, this one is the newest record from Juliana Hatfield, and this one's called Blood. And it came out on American Laundromat Recordings, or American Laundromat Records. And there's the back on this one. I was very intrigued about this record's theme, which seemed to reference a lot of things about dreams and nightmares, with songs like Nightmare and Had a Dream, and even the album cover. And the artwork, it reminds me a lot, or it makes me think of a bad dream that she may have had in the past. And especially the album title as well, Blood, which seems kind of like a darker theme as far as the concept of the record. But overall, the whole album is still very upbeat, as usual, coming in from Juliana Hatfield. Very clever lyrics, great guitars, and great singing, and great songwriting on this one as well. This is my number 10 pick of the year, Juliana Hatfield with Blood. All right, coming in at number 9, this is the newest record from Courtney Barnett. And this one's called Things Take Time, Take Time. Great album title, as usual, coming in from Courtney. And this one came out on Mom and Pop Records. And Steve Carlson actually talked about this record in his last video, and he described it really well. I'll put a link here in the description in case you want to check it out. Her songwriting is essentially storytelling. She is really good at putting things in people's head as far as the imagery and the things that she wants to say and describe in her music, and she does that really well in this new record. As many people have been saying, this one is a little bit more slowed down compared to her past albums, a little bit more stripped down, but I didn't have a problem with it. I actually quite enjoyed the whole vibe of the new record. Even the parts where she uses some drum machines, I really wasn't bothered with it. I thought it was a really solid record from Courtney Barnett. Again, this one's called Things Take Time, Take Time. It's my number 9 album of 2021. All right, number 8. This one is the newest record from Remember Sports, and this one's called Like a Stone, and it came out on Father-Daughter Records. Great new record from the band from Ohio. They came back strong this year with this record. This is the perfect example of a great and just a very catchy indie rock record. I love the vocals on this one. It seems like the lyrics are very personal as well, so lots of emotion in the singing of this record. The guitars are great as well. I love the style in the music on this one, where it kind of speeds up in some parts of the album and then it slows down and then it speeds up again, which is, I think it gives a great effect in the overall record. Gives me a lot of vibes from bands like Hop Along and Camp Cope. If you like those kind of bands, you may also like Remember Sports. This is my pick number 8 of 2021. All right, number 7 is for Dinosaur Jr. with their newest record, Sweep It Into Space. And this one came out on Jack Jaguar Records. Another solid album from Dinosaur Jr. They've been really on a roll in the last few years. Their last few releases have been all excellent. I think their last 3 albums have made it to my top 10 albums of the year. And this one was interesting because it was produced by Kurt Vile. And you can definitely hear his influence in this record. You can hear a lot of his kind of like a more acoustic-y or twangy guitars in some of the songs. But it has some great tracks in this one. In particular, the song I Ran Away, which I believe was a single from this record. Great track. Super catchy. Love the melodies on that one. The singing from Jay is excellent. And the guitars, as usual, are fantastic. This is my number 7 of the year, as Dinosaur Jr. with Sweep It Into Space. I'd expect another time. I ran away. I gave it up today. Who could I blame? Can't be true. All right, coming in at number 6 is the newest record from The Joy Formidable. And this is the record that I just showed in my last video. This one's called Into the Blue, and it came out on Hassle Records. Fantastic new record from The Joy Formidable. I always get excited when they release new albums, and this one was no exception. Amazing guitars on this one, very shoegazy type of guitars. And it almost makes it sound like they use every single part of the guitar when they play their music. Because it just sounds like it's just full of music in this new record. Great guitars, great vocals as well. The singer in this band, she has a very unique style in singing where it almost sounds like she's whispering. So it gives kind of like a very haunting kind of sound to the overall music of the record. Again, I highly recommend this one. It's Joy Formidable with Into the Blue. Is my pick number 6 of 2021. To the blue once again. Just one big wave. Just one big... All right, so let's move on to my top 5 albums of 2021. And coming in at number 5 is the newest record from Cloud Nothings. And this one's called The Shadow I Remember. And it came out on Car Park Records. Fantastic new record from Cloud Nothings. It's one of the bands that I really follow, especially in the last few years. And I believe this may be one of their best records overall. And not only one of their best records, but also one of their most accessible records. Because it's just very melodic, very pop influenced. Great melodies on this one, very catchy songs throughout the record. In fact, this one has a lot of songs that were stuck in my head throughout the year because they're just so catchy and so melodic, especially compared to their past releases. The guitars are great, the songwriting is great, the vocals are fantastic. Great new album. I highly recommend this one. This one is Cloud Nothings with The Shadow I Remember, coming in at number 5.
Right now you see me, but I'm moving slow. Life keeps repeating, and home after home. Is anyone ever born to rise above another alone?
All right, coming in at number 4. This is the debut album from Pom Pom Squad, and this one's called Death of a Cheerleader, and it came out on CD Slang Records. Great new record or great debut album from Pom Pom Squad. And actually, if I had to give an award for the best debut album of 2021, it would go to this band, Death of a Cheerleader. Fantastic debut album from a very young band. I think they were formed just in 2015. And what a way to start the careers of this band, because this album is excellent. It seems to me like they were very inspired or influenced by the music and the image of Saint Vincent. The voice of the singer sounds a little bit similar to Saint Vincent, but I was also intrigued by the fact that she almost seems to be taking over a persona or a character throughout the record, which is something that Saint Vincent likes to do throughout her records. So it'll be very interesting to follow the career of this young band and see if that's something that they will try to do in the next few records. The vocals are amazing, very deep, very emotional. I like the fact that in some of the songs tend to be faster paced and more rocking, and some other songs seem to be more slower, darker, and more introspective. Overall, a fantastic new record from Pom Pom Squad. Check this band out. Again, this one is called Death of a Cheerleader, and it's my number 4 pick of 2021. All right, coming in at number 3, this is the new record from Sincere Engineer, and this one's called Bless My Psyche, and it came out on Hopeless Records. I just showed this one on my last video, and this one I actually only got it on CD, but I do plan to get this one on vinyl eventually once it's repressed. I love this record. It's really right up my alley. Pop punk mixed with a little bit of emo and punk rock. Very unique type of singing in the vocals of the singer of this band. She has a very raspy kind of voice, kind of like a rough sounding female vocals that go really well with the guitars, with the punk rock guitars, which also give a little bit more emotion when she's singing. And also the lyrics and the overall songwriting are quite interesting on this record. It seems to have a lot of very personal type of lyrics in the overall record. And in some of the songs, it almost seems like she's trying to give some advice to a younger self, which I thought it was kind of interesting and a very unique overall songwriting. Very upbeat, very high energy, very fast-paced, very guitar-driven. Great new record from Sincere Engineer. Check it out. This is my number 3 pick of 2021. This one's called Bless My Psyche. All right, number 2 goes to Jade Bird, and this one's called Different Kinds of Light, and it came out on Glassnote Records. This one was also a big surprise for me in 2021. because it's an artist that I have been following in the last few years, but I never really got into their records until this year. I checked it out and I was impressed because this album is long. It has 15 songs and there are no bad songs in this one. Absolutely no filler in this record. All the songs are great. A very folk kind of vibe throughout the whole record. Lots of acoustic guitars in this one, but the highlight in this record is obviously the voice or the vocals of the singer, Jade Bird. Absolutely a beautiful performance in this record. And also the whole structure and the composition of all the tracks in this one seems to have been done very carefully. Love this record. Like I said, there are no bad tracks on this one. Some of my favorites in this one, if you want to check it out, is a song called Honeymoon, a fantastic song. And also the very last song in the album, which for some reason is not listed here, it's a song called Head Start. So if you want to check out something from Jade Bird, check out those songs. A fantastic new album from the young singer-songwriter from England. I believe this is only her second studio album. But I for sure will be checking out some of her newer releases in the future. Again, this is my number 2 pick of 2021, Jade Bird with Different Kinds of Light. Alright, then finally, my number 1 album of 2021, and I'm sure a lot of people out there will be glad to know that my number 1 album of the year is a punk rock album. And what a punk rock album it is. It's the newest record from Emil and the Sniffers, and this one's called Comfort to Me. And it came out on ATO Records out of Australia. This record is an absolute blast of energy and punk rock energy. Extremely fast-paced, very guitar-driven, lots of energy on this one. The highlight on this one is, of course, the singer of the band. I think her name is Amy, and she has a lot of attitude. She has this type of singing where she's very in your face. And you can tell, even from this record, just from listening to the record, that her live shows must be absolutely wild. I can't wait to see them live. They're scheduled to play next year at the Shaky Knees Music Festival. Hopefully, if everything goes well, I'll be seeing them live. And yeah, an excellent punk rock album. Very guitar driven as well. The guitar licks are awesome. And this record, just everything about this record hits the right buttons for me. If you know what kind of music I listen to, you knew that I was gonna like this record, and I liked it so much that I made it my number 1 pick of 2021. Some of my favorites in this record are a song called Hurts. It's a fantastic song. And also Freaks to the Front, which I believe is a song about getting all the weirdest people in the audience up front of the stage. And of course, the singles from this record, a song called The Security and a song called Guided by Angels. Excellent tracks on this one. If you're into punk rock and to punk rock music, check out this record. You have to check out the newest album from Emil and the Sniffers. Again, this one's called Comfort to Me. Alright, VC, so that's it for me in 2021. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 albums of the year. It is always my favorite video to do in the whole year because we get to get together and summarize some of the best music from the last 12 months. I have been watching a lot of the VC videos, or the countdown VC videos out there, so it was great to find out about some great new albums and bands out there in the VC. Glad that the VC's out there staying strong. It has been a tough year overall, but a great year for music. I look forward to 2022. I plan to make a lot more videos next year if things go right. So everybody out there, stay safe, take care of each other, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in 2022. See ya. Bye.